we are doing another Praying for Your Passion video. What? Oh man. Today I kind of got inspired to explain a little bit about dipping your toes versus submerging yourself every day with God. And again, I'm in my car because it is the only time it seems to be that I do this. I like to spend time with my family on my days off, and I even have a room set up, like I've said, for these videos. But it's okay. We're making it work. It's good. Praying for your passion is something that I have been inspired to do for a while, but why now am I doing it? Well, before, I felt even posting things on social media would bring out a lot of judgy comments or people's just opinions of, you know, who I've become, and like, oh, she's one of those, you know, judgy, Bible-thumping Christians, like, oh man. But you know, because in my mind, that's exactly how I thought once upon a time. I've only become a Christian. 2014, April 2014 was my month I was saved. But only this year was I not dipping my toes, and more so I've become, with like this long journey I've been on, just submerging myself with God. I've only been submerging myself with the Word and letting Him guide my day. Months, not even a year. But I will say that the past few months, I think since June, I have on social media, the most I'll post is a verse every day. Just kind of, I thought about it, and after this journey of praying and doing more in my day than just what do I need to do for myself, and started realizing that God's plan for me includes helping others. Who would have known? We're here with a ton of people, and a lot of us like to just think, what do I need to do to better myself? I only need to look out for number one. That was me completely. And I'm telling you, it feels a lot less hollow living your day-to-day thinking, okay, God, help me to see these people for who they are, not for what they're acting like in the situation. Like, you know, working with people can be challenging. Not everyone gets along. Not everyone can coexist. So anyway, rewinding, I felt like, hey, I need to explain why it took a minute for me to get to this point where I felt comfortable to even do videos, because I was an agnostic my whole life up until 2014, and even then I felt like I was questioning if I really was gonna go to heaven. I was like, man, getting a little like, ooh, what is this whole thing about? Like, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus now. There's a lot of proof in Revelations. I needed evidence. I was the agnostic that needed the proof. Give me proof of God. Give me evidence. Or, yeah, look at this terrible crap that goes on in the world every day. How is a God even present in this world kind of thought, right? So, again, I told you at the very beginning of this whole channel, I'm making this as real and raw and deep or whatever as possible, because I feel like there are enough channels that are topical and very just, you know, it's not real at all. It's very, you know, this pretend world. We're in a pretend world. No, we're not in a pretend world. We are in a real raw world that needs real raw people to tell it how it is. And for me, that's how I've always been, but now I'm in a way more positive and apparently bumpy place. I'm sorry, my camera's probably going. I will try to make a filter happen to where it doesn't look as bumpy. Thank God for my iPhone. Okay. Sorry, real and raw with the blinkers again. But just saying, it took me a minute because of the judgment I heard in my mind. The judgment in my mind of What are they going to think of you, right? When you stop for a second and you start realizing that people's opinions, there's going to be always an opinion out there on you about your actions, about your choices, about your decisions, about whatever. There's always going to be an opinion. And it's easier said than done to be like, who cares what other people think? Just worry about yourself. That's easier said than done. So, but when you stop, it's easier for me personally to start putting the opinion I care about on God. So there is someone I still care about. There's still an opinion I care about. It's just not another person, because everyone has their own paths in life, and everyone has their own journey they're on, and we don't know what we're doing, but there's one thing that does. And when you start doing that and care about the opinion of God, you start actually calling on him through your day, because through your day, there's a person in my video that doesn't even know it. Because through your day, there's going to be so many challenges and so many just distressing situations, and especially when you work with people, like I'd said before, that it's almost inevitable. You feel like you have to take on all the burden by yourself. Again, the donkey and the sheep video I did last time. You can, be the donkey, like put everything on your shoulders, feeling the shoulders just being weighed down. The people that are like this, I totally feel like, yeah, there's a lot of just problems, and people have these issues genetically and all these different problems with their backs. But I know when you feel that burden super strong on your shoulders, it's easy to start even showing it physically. That was me. When I went to the chiropractor a few times, I felt like, man, they were working on me. They're like, you need to relax your tension, that stress. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not stressed. Not stressed as much as I normally am. I'm gonna pull in like I'm going to get some gas, because I took a little less time at the store for my boss, and my boss is awesome, so I'm gonna do this video while I can. But today I just felt very inspired to say that, coming from someone that had absolutely, no idea what she was doing in her life. No idea, but felt the stress of having to figure it out with, that whole life goggles on. You have those goggles on that just show your whole life, and you're like, oh man, I have to get this done and this done to get to that point. My boss will literally ask me what's up with me, because I go to the bathroom so much. The reason I'm going to the bathroom so much is because it's my one time where because I have an office, but it's open to anyone who wants to walk in. I have a printer that everyone shares that comes in the office. And so anyway, I have to have my alone time while I'm here 8 hours a day at my job. So again, real and raw here, I will go to the bathroom and I will get on my knees asking God, in the situation I'm in, what do I need to do? Bad or good, whatever. I will feel the pull or I won't feel the pull. But if I feel the pull to not do what I'm being told to do, or a decision I need to make in my personal life or whatever, but I'm being pulled to not answer, and it's kind of like, you just an uneasy feeling in your heart, I then will go to the bathroom, get on my knees, asking God to guide me on a yes or no for that situation, whatever it is. And that is so much less stressful than just thinking years out, right? You're only promised now. You're only promised today. Like, it's like hard to live like that when you have to plan your life out. You have kids, you have to plan these events, you have to plan whatever. Oh, trust me, I'm not saying it's easy. The hardest job I've had was becoming a Christian and being baptized of April of this year. It's been the hardest journey since then, because it says it is the hardest job to be a Christian. It's not easy, or everyone would be doing it. It's been the hardest job because you are surrounded by doubters. You are surrounded by judgment. You are surrounded by people giving you that look. And it really is, all that it is confusion on their end. They don't know what they don't understand, because they are not trying or putting any effort into seeking it. And I'm one of those. I've been one of those for most of my life. This is still very new to me, but I felt like today I could at least bring some or shed some light on the fact that it's not hopeless, and it becomes easier and easier when you feed your soul and you do this daily. Like I said last video, meditation is very important, to make you feel less like a donkey and more like that sheep, letting the shepherd guide you through your day. It centers you to a point where you are just right then in that moment now, and just with God now. Because I have a chaotic mind. It goes crazy. I hear the Holy Spirit in my mind because I'm to that point where I can recognize my own thoughts from the Holy Spirit who is inside all of us. The Spirit, I feel, all I hear him say is peace. Most of the time is peace. And because I have a mouth, I have an opinion, I am very judgmental, and I am not perfect. But with God, I don't feel like I have to be, and I feel like he wants to help me. And because when we start acting arrogant and ignorant to something bigger than us that can be a solution, that to me is the worst way to live, because I've never felt lighter, literally physically and mentally lighter than I have since I started doing the hardest job, being a Christian. Ignorance is no judgment here. Like, it is so easy to fall into the ignorance of life. It says in the Bible, even again, getting into scripture, like we are blinded. We were blinded and made deaf to him because he wants us to seek him. It's free will, right? It's free will. And it's just every day so mind-blowing to me that how real ignorance is. People that argue with a brick wall over something they know. Oh, they know. Because they know everything, or if not, close to everything. Yeah. I won't go too far into that. But there's a lot of people I know like that. Ignorance is, it's why the people I know, that's part of the reason why I was that way. And I'm not saying I'm perfect to where I don't act like I know everything. There are moments where I feel like, hey, I've experienced that. I know how to answer that. But it just becomes a lot less chaotic and a lot less stressful to include God in your life when you just get in that moment. In that very moment you're in, that you are struggling, whatever the struggle is. Just separate yourself from the chaos. Separate yourself from opinions. Separate yourself from your own mind that is like, oh, I could do this. Weigh pro and cons. Self-help. I'm the only one that can help me. Always think about number one. That's how I was. And now that I'm starting to, and I've been like, God, okay, I don't feel right about this. Please help me. Help me to understand and see from, your perspective on this person that I'm getting irritated at, or whatever, or the situation. Seeing people through God's eyes is another struggle I'm still learning to do, because people, right? People. Working with people is tough, but I would rather be where I'm at now. As hard as it is, and as exhausting as it can feel, and to feel like you actually are physically rising above a situation because you're allowing him to take your burdens from you. I would rather be in that boat than the boat I was in, where I knew it all. I was argumentative, just so many things, so many things. But I titled this Let's Get Real because that's the point of this whole channel. And I just don't want anyone to think watching these videos that I've got it figured out. Like, I don't. But I do feel like he does. And if he does, then, and I have the option to call on him, and I have that right, being God made, to call on him to have him help me, I'm gonna do it. And you better be patient with my response to any question you have in this world, especially a really life-changing question or life-changing situation. You better wait, because I'm going to be asking for him to guide me through it. I'll say one more thing, and I'll get off because I gotta get back to my awesome boss. There's a story I heard where this man went to college, got his master's, immediately out of college, got recruited for this amazing job, 6 figures or more, like a crazy good job, because his skills and his choices in life led him to that point. And he was a God-fearing man. He got offered this job, though, that was 6 figures, right? And all of this, all the people around him said, do it. Oh, come on, you got to do it. It's a dream job, and he really wanted to. He wanted to. But then his heart, when he prayed about it, was pulling him to a no. And he didn't understand it. He was kind of mad. But just like my first video, GPS, which I've heard so many opinions on what that really means, but I'm going to keep saying God's path to success because, hey, it works. He called on God's path pretty much for him, and it was a no, so he turned it down. He turned down that job. That job would have been in a building in New York, and one of the buildings, it was a unit, 2 buildings, right? Twin Towers, yeah, you know where I'm going with it. He was supposed to be in that job. He was supposed to be in a job in that building. Twin Towers. The next month, that was August, the next month, 9/11 happened. Again, it gives me the chills saying that story, because it was a terrible event that happened. It's horrible. And I'm not saying that was right, that only one man, I'm not saying that his choice, other people didn't call on them and that's why they died. I'm just saying him specifically, that one story I heard, that made me get the chills, because I felt like, man, that guy didn't look to himself or other people's opinions. He looked up, and it again guided him through a rocky path, and GPS, like, it guided him down a better road, and he survived his life. And I just that story alone, for me, that testimony was enough for me to be humbled and to say, you know what, he knows. He just knows. And we don't have to understand it. We want it right now. We want to understand now. Oh, I don't get it, so I'm going to do my own thing. That's so easy to do, right? But turning down a 6-figure job after working your heart out for 6 years or more, and then finding out what you steered away from, man, what a great testimony. And I just had to say that, so I can maybe speak to someone who's watching this, that it took me being humbled on my knees and giving it up to God for me to be able to get this job I'm going to right now. I didn't have a dream job before. It was literally hurting me, this job I was in, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I prayed, God, if you don't want me in this place, take me out. And I won't say how it happened, but I got taken out of that job. And now I'm in a place, after months of not understanding what I was doing, I got humbled and got into a place where I now have a man that I work for that wants to pray with me every day. He is a wonderful, God-fearing man. And to be in a business and having God surrounding you, I get my radio station, KLRC, Christian station, just uplifting me all day. I have him being the most understanding, patient man, because he himself has his own testimony, it just, yeah. Everyone's story can change in just a second, because what happened to me and what happened to that man, all this, people that just look up and stop looking at themselves to fix everything, it can be a very great life that you have here, and we're only promised today. So hopefully this was a video that was like its title, it's real, and it speaks to someone. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Have a great day.